Hey, hi, hello, and welcome. I'm GrooveSim, aka Town in Real Life. I'm playing video games today. I'm playing F1 2017 for your enjoyment. And in this video, you shall be observing me with great excitement and delight, racing around the Circuit of the Americas short version in a 1996 Williams FW18. This was the same vehicle that Damon Hill won the championship, driver's championship in. His teammate was rookie sensation Jacques Villeneuve, who had graced the U.S. kart series, the championship auto racing teams, with his presence. He is the son of Gilles Villeneuve. He came over in 96 and teamed up with Damon Hill. Damon Hill won the championship. Jacques Villeneuve won, I don't know what it was, like 3 or 4 races that year. May have been 3. Damon Hill had been threatening to win a driver's championship for a couple of years, but he had an obstacle in the form of Michael Schumacher between him and a championship. And for a couple of years, for a couple of seasons, Michael won that battle. But anyway, back to this. 1996 Williams FW18, and it's nothing but classic cars in this series. It be going against 88 Mclaren, MP4/4s or 2s or whatever. The 91 McLaren MP4/6 for sure, for realies. The 92 Williams FW4, I don't know, something. And let's see, the 95 Ferrari T14 something. And some 98 McLaren MP4 13s. Now those are the quickest in the series, but the second quickest car is this one, and I decided to race this one, and I do start from the back of the pack, as we say in America, or P20 on the grid, as you say in Europe. Let's be quiet and watch the opening. There you have it. That was the opening lap with a little background noise by my mic. Sorry about that. But this is, like I said, Circuit of the Americas, which is located in Austin, or around close to Austin, Texas. This is the short version. As I said, the main Grand Prix track is like 3.4 miles. It is, in fact, 3.4 miles, 5.5 kilometers in length. This track, though, it includes basically all but the front straight and a couple 3-4 turns that lead into that. I say front straight, that long back straight actually is what it is. Forget how long it is exactly. It's like I'm sorry, I don't know that. It seems like it's 3/4 of a mile, or I don't know exactly, but it's a long straight, and it's in the modern F1 cars. I mean, wow, my voice is going in the red a lot. The modern F1 cars, there's a DRS detection zone and a DRS straight. And it's drag reduction system, and it gives them a boost, you might say, of horsepower to try to overtake someone going into turn 12. I think it's turn 12, which is actually this turn right here. I was just talking about turn 12, and this is it. Yeah. So the front, that long straight is not included in this, but basically all but, like I said, a couple 2, 3, 4 turns that lead into that long straight are missing. Everything else is intact, as is. And this is a very tight understeery series of parabolica-esque type turns, you know. Obviously I'm behind on the commentary because we're now on the front straight. So let's go around this track. This is turn 1 coming up, and avoided contact somehow there. I try to race clean, and for the most part, I mean, there was some contact during the race, I ain't gonna lie. Especially trying to get around some of these slower cars, like some corners, they're like the S's here, very tough to pass through the S's. So you have to hold position basically behind a slower car until you can take it. When you get that opportunity, you gotta take it. And sometimes you gotta be a little aggressive. You know what I mean? Because can't afford to be dilly-dallying. I'm trying to get to the front, man. That's the whole point. Like I said, I did start 20th, and I'm working my way up the field. I actually gained quite a bit through the first couple of laps. So then it became all about closing ground on the leaders, right? And I was wondering if that was going to happen, because this is a short race. It's 14 laps on the shortened version of USA, and I was kind of doubting I would be able to have enough time to catch them, or even if I did catch them, maybe by the time I do, it'll be towards, you know, the last couple of laps or something, and I just won't be able to get around them. You know, I have no idea at this point, right? So I'm just racing hard, and I'm trying to race clean and stay within the limits. I do cut. There are probably 3 or 4 really bad cuts, corner cuts. Let me clarify, corner cuts that, you know, I'm not happy about, but this car And it took me a while to get it set up because it's so understeery. There's a lot of understeer in this car. I don't know if that's the way it was in real life, but if that's the case, then damn, you know, it's a handful. But if the other cars on the grid were having the same issue, you know, then it sort of balances out, because this car, I mean, I was able to get in a bit of a groove with it going around this track. Once you figure out, okay, and just accept that, yeah, this is a tough car to turn in the corners. You can compensate, you can adapt, which I did, and you could get it. I got in a bit of a rhythm, you know, going around here. Now, this was a fun race to do. It really was, and I'll be uploading more. This is from a custom series, a custom season that I'm partaking in. It's a custom season I created for myself, me against the AI, just so I could have some fun. And it's always going to be sunny and partly cloudy wherever we race, no rain. This way I like it. I have a mixture. I have some short versions of tracks, and I have the full versions of some tracks. I don't have all the tracks from the calendar. Just a few, not just my favorites, but some that are good challenges, you know. Let's see how we do. Getting ready to transition here. See how smooth this is. I think it's smooth. I'll tell you what, today, this is, let's see what the date is. It's Friday the 17th of August, 2018. That's when I'm recording this. Recorded the voice anyway. Recorded the gameplay. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday, Thursday. And the days and the times won't mean anything to anybody who watches this, you know, even 2 hours from now or a week from now. I'm just for point of reference, that's the date. And I had to make an awkward transition. I have the footage, but for some reason the footage was like corrupted or something, and I couldn't get. I could hear the audio, but was getting no video. But fortunately, I recorded both. This is the actual race view as I was racing from the TV pod view, and you see all the telemetry, all the HUD. You see the HUD, and then there's the post-race television style replay that I also recorded with a lot of different camera views and so on. So fortunately, I had some footage to kind of toss to fall back onto in case something went wrong with, you know, one of the clips. I had another clip from a different perspective to fall back on, and unfortunately for that one, it was like in a Bermuda Triangle or something of recording, because both clips I wanted to use, or I thought I could use to show, you know, every bit of racing. There's this one part where there's a gap on both versions of the recording. So I don't know that. I hope that made sense what I just said, but long and short of it is, you know, for the most part, I got everything, and it came out well. Could it have come out better? Sure. Upload studio again, buggy, glitchy, picky, manic, non-user friendly. Let me be kind here. Piece of software, let's just say, and or a bit of software, however you want to say it. And also, the power went out. today, twice, because we had a storm, but it wasn't that bad as a storm. It was a routine sort of easy-going storm, and the power goes out. And I'm thinking, oh great, that's reassuring to know that, you know, the system around here can't handle a typical freaking storm. You know? I mean, goddamn. Anyway, so the power went out right in the middle of editing. This video is a work in progress still, because I'm not even sure it's going to make it through the rendering and then the uploading process, because or stages in the process, because again, Upload Studio, if I haven't mentioned it like 50,000 times before in all the videos combined that I've ever edited with it and uploaded to YouTube, etc., well, it's buggy and glitchy. Yeah. So anyway, this is a fun race. We're going to get back in the race, man. As you can see, I'm making progress. And, well, I made all the progress. I'm in first. It's lap 11. And those McLarens, man, the MP413s. I can tell you, fastest by far, you know, in this class. I've driven one, the MP413 but the 98 MP413 is my favorite of the classics, I think. I also like the 2006 Renault. What's the... Anyways, 2006 Renault. But the most popular classic car by far isn't featured in this race or on the grid, is the 2004 Ferrari F2004, driven by Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello. And it's so popular because it's so OP. It's ridiculous, man. You look at the leaderboards for time trial, and it's like all up and down the leaderboards. So many people use it, the vast majority, and that's I mean, I don't exaggerate there. There are a lot of people who opt for it. So I tried it out, right? Like, what's the big deal about this? And holy shit. Then I understood, you know, like, wow, okay, great, but it isn't my favorite classic. This car here, I always considered like Damon Hill and Jacques Villeneuve kind of boring. So I wasn't a big Williams fan either, and but I did root for Damon Hill against Michael Schumacher. You know, Michael Schumacher was kind of a dirty racer. He was, you know, he was very aggressive. He was dirty. He had Damon Hill in '95. Michael Schumacher won his second consecutive with Benetton, and Damon Hill really was a legit threat to win the championship were it not for Michael Schumacher. And you know, I mean, you could even argue that maybe Damon Hill had a legitimate beef, that Michael got away with some shenanigans that most drivers wouldn't have gotten away with in their fight for the championship. But at the same time, Damon Hill would screw himself too, you know, with some I mean, he wasn't the smoothest racer at times. But, you know, getting back to this race as it's winding down, we are on lap 13 of 14. So you saw me racing through the pack there, and It was fun to do. I'm going to be uploading more eventually. Good God. I mean, it takes so many attempts just to get one video together. It's disheartening and discouraging, but I'm going to keep at it. Just keep uploading to YouTube, you know, because I want to, and I enjoy this stuff. I enjoy the racing, and I want to share it somehow, some way. This is the final lap, and guess what I'm doing? I'm fuel saving. Because even though I started with heavy fuel load, heavier than the AI even, I burned it, man. I burned all the fuel. And right here, I'm like, oh shit, I don't know. I wasn't even sure I was going to make it the final lap. Go through the S's here. These S's are quick. They're fast. Very fast. If you nail them right? And now here you got to take a sharp left. Otherwise, you'd be staying to the right. So this cuts down in the middle. And then you come out on this, what is the back end of the long straight. This is turn 12, like I said. Coming up, this is turn 13. It's a nice tight on the steering, but I get this. I like this sequence or this series, this section, this series of turns. You know, I like it. This one here is tough because you can get it wrong. You really in an F1, a modern F1 car, you get to that turn full flat out, man. But you can also go a little too heavy in, or too you can make the turn too late and understeer right off the track. There's the end of the race.
We did it. Good job.
And you can hear the car. You can hear it chugging right there. I'm gonna. Oh. So anyway, yeah. So that's that. And once again, thank you for viewing. Take care. Stay groovy. Goodbye.
That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye, and see you again next time.